A blazing hot desert stretches endlessly under a burning sun. Sand moves like waves across the ground, hiding secrets buried for thousands of years. And right in the middle of all that emptiness rises one of the greatest civilizations the world has ever known: ancient Egypt. A land of towering pyramids, powerful pharaohs, sacred gods, golden treasures, and stories so wild they still feel unreal today. But this wasn't always an empire. At first, it was just scattered villages along the River Nile, small groups of people trying to survive in a harsh desert world. And everything depended on one thing: the Nile itself. Because outside the river's path, there was nothing but dry, unforgiving desert. No rain, no lakes, no easy life. Then, every year, the Nile would flood. It would spill across the land, leaving behind rich, dark soil, fertile ground where crops could grow in abundance. Wheat, barley, vegetables, life itself came from the river. And slowly, people began to thrive. Villages turned into towns. Towns grew into kingdoms. Wealth started to build. Power started to shift. Around 3100 BC, everything changed. A ruler known as Narmer united Upper and Lower Egypt into a single kingdom. And just like that, ancient Egypt as we know it was born. From that moment on, Egypt began to rise. The pharaoh became the most powerful figure in the land. Not just a king, but a living symbol of divine authority. Someone believed to be chosen by the gods themselves. And when people believe their ruler is divine, they don't just obey. They build for eternity. That's when the age of monuments began. Massive temples, endless stone statues, and of course, the pyramids. The Great Pyramid of Giza rises from the desert like something impossible. Even today, it feels unreal. But when it was first completed, it would have been even more breathtaking. Smooth limestone casing reflecting the sunlight, making it shine like a beacon in the desert. Built without machines, without engines, without modern tools. Just human hands, ropes, sledges, and determination on a scale hard to imagine today. Thousands of workers, moving stone after stone, building something meant to last forever. And somehow, it did. For nearly 4,000 years, the Great Pyramid remained the tallest structure on Earth. While other civilizations were still developing, Egypt was already building wonders that defied time itself. But Egypt wasn't just monuments and royalty.
Most people lived simple lives along the Nile. Farmers working from sunrise to sunset, growing crops that fed the entire civilization. Fishermen navigating papyrus boats through the river. Builders, traders, laborers, all keeping the empire alive. And then there were the scribes, the record keepers, the educated few, the people who could read and write hieroglyphs. In a world where most people couldn't, scribes held immense importance. They recorded taxes, trade, laws, religious texts, everything that made society function. Religion shaped everything in ancient Egypt. They believed in hundreds of gods, each controlling different forces of life and nature. Ra, the sun god; Osiris, ruler of the afterlife; Anubis, guardian of the dead; Horus, the sky god. Every sunrise, every flood, every harvest was connected to the gods. Temples stood as centers of power, where priests performed rituals to maintain balance in the world. Because if the gods were not pleased, everything could fall into chaos. But perhaps the most
Tombs filled with treasures for the journey beyond life. Gold, food, jewelry, furniture, and sacred objects placed beside the dead to guide them into the afterlife. For the pharaohs, burial was not just a ceremony, it was preparation for eternity. Then came the New Kingdom, the golden age of ancient Egypt. This was when Egypt stood at its strongest. Powerful armies, vast wealth, and influence stretching across vast regions. Pharaohs like Hatshepsut broke boundaries, expanding trade and building incredible monuments, one of the few female rulers to command such respect and authority. Then came Ramesses II, often remembered as Ramesses the Great, a ruler known for ambition, warfare, and monumental construction. Massive statues carved in his image, temples built to honor his reign, a legacy written in stone across Egypt. Under his rule, Egypt faced one of its greatest battles, the Battle of Kadesh, a massive clash between Egyptian and Hittite forces, with chariots charging across the desert in one of the earliest recorded large-scale battles in history. But even the greatest empires begin to weaken. Over time, Egypt faced internal struggles, power shifts, weak leadership, economic pressure, and growing instability. Then came external threats, invasions from foreign powers.
After her defeat alongside Mark Antony, Egypt was absorbed into the Roman Empire in 30 BC. And with that, the age of the pharaohs came to an end. A civilization that had lasted over 3,000 years slowly faded into history. But it never truly disappeared. Its pyramids still stand. Its temples still rise from the desert. Its statues still watch over the sands. Ancient Egypt remains one of the most powerful echoes of the past. A civilization built on the banks of a river that shaped the course of human history forever. And even now, beneath the desert sands, its secrets are still waiting to be uncovered.